He's the interim UFC heavyweight champion, Tom Aspinall.
Yeah. Is Jon Jones scared to fight you?
Didn't want to fight Ngannou for 3 years. Now he's not wanting to fight me for over a year. Conning the public, man.
Is that fight happening?
I think you're getting a reality check on a regular basis if you do some kind of combat sport. I mean, you do combat sports, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm just fighting for my life.
yeah, you can tell. You can tell.
You'd be sick at WWE.
That's maybe something I would look at doing when I've retired from MMA. I would love to do that.
Hell yeah.
I will openly speak about how scared I am when I fight. Whether it's Jon Jones or somebody else, I'm going to look him in the eye and I'm going to be like, I'm f***ing scared, but I'm coming for you. And one of us is probably going to be separated from our consciousness.
Damn.
Potential Logan Paul UFC arc.
Dude, I'm not CM Punk.
Yeah, he wasn't very good.
Well, my skill is wrestling.
It all depends on the opponent, doesn't it?
I have some names in mind, but like...
Oh, go on, tell us a few.
I mean...
What did I tell you when I texted you before? I'm having a mental breakdown and I need you to be better than me today.
No.
You're off to a horrible start.
I just got here in Londonville.
Me too. Me too. And I know you slept on the plane.
4 hours.
Oh, that's not that good.
No,
got zero.
not good. But you know what? You know what I did do?
What's going on with this?
I would say, but there's a woman in the room.
Yeah, I think we're good.
But if that's, I would assume that's what it is.
And I
What do they
took a
call
nap.
you? Had a wank?
Had a wank.
This bit.
Had a wank.
It's not illegal on the plane. It's not just frowned upon. Just frowned upon.
Just frowned upon. Is that true?
No, it just kept like dropping.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Are we rolling, Caleb?
Yeah.
Okay, we are rolling.
So we got all that?
So we got all that. That's fantastic. He is going to do headphones?
I think so. Yeah.
Damn,
it's better.
I might
Check.
as well.
Check.
It's better. It's clear.
All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen.
He's the interim UFC heavyweight championship.
Oh, he is? He's an inanimate object? He seems like a human, dude.
Ladies, can you turn me up in the headphones a little bit? That's all.
I have like weird.
I can't hear. I just can't hear myself that well.
I can go up.
Tom,
a little bit
just give me a second.
Yeah.
It's like one of our first times doing this. So
This is our first podcast.
I think that's a lie. That's definitely a lie.
we're deep. We shouldn't be fucking around like this. We're jet lagged.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Tom Aspinall.
Yeah.
The interim UFC heavyweight champion of the world. It's Tom Aspinall.
Yeah. Wait, what? Why'd we do that twice?
I liked the prefacing it with his title and then getting into his name.
Perfect. We will air both, right?
I think so.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
What's
Dude,
up, Tom?
How are you, Tom?
I'm doing all right, thanks. Yeah.
You seem like just a proper bloke.
Yeah. Well, is that a compliment? I'll take
Yeah,
it if it
yeah.
is. Yeah. I think I am,
Dude, I
think
walked
am.
in, you reached your hand out, and you said, Tom.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Formal.
Yeah. You're like a professional.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
How do you maintain hingeness when it's your job to murder people you know what I'm saying?
It balances out. If I didn't have the job, maybe I would be a little bit more unhinged. Maybe. I don't know. It's difficult to say because I've been involved with like martial arts since I was like 8 years old. So I don't really know life without it. So I think it does keep me sane. Hopefully I'm going to stay sane when I retire and stuff, but we'll see.
Doesn't martial arts, and you say martial arts specifically,
Yeah,
right? Like,
yeah.
What kind of martial arts?
Well, I've been involved in basically not every martial art, but a lot.
So is it like, is it true that it's kind of like a centeredness? It teaches you like morality and integrity and when to use your power and when not to?
I think so. I think so. Yeah. I think it teaches you like how to control yourself a little bit. Like I think you're getting a reality check on a regular basis if you do some kind of combat sport. I mean, you do combat sports. Do you not agree?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm just fighting for my life.
yeah. You can tell. You can tell.
Well, what about this jacket?
No, the jacket's nice.
Okay,
the
thank
jacket
you.
is nice.
Thank
No,
you.
the jacket's nice.
I said that as well.
No, but I think you get a reality check pretty often. Like your ego gets checked. Like if you're not in the gym consistently, you are going to get checked. Literally, you're going to get punched or kicked in the face.
What was the biggest ego check of the past year that you saw watching UFC? Is there a moment that stands out?
No, because I think that the top level guys, like the elite level guys, we're all aware of what can happen. Like you zig when you should have zagged, especially at heavyweight. Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes it doesn't even matter if you make a mistake or not. If you get hit with one with those tiny little gloves on, we're talking massive guys. Like you're going over. So I don't think that anybody's. I mean, we all have egos. Obviously, we're professional athletes. We're big guys. We've spent our life doing it, but I think that everyone's on the same page where we all know that we can lose at any time.
I think sometimes the ego check too is like somebody bringing something to remind you that you may not be as well-rounded as you should be.
Yeah.
And I think back to like Merab and Sugar, who's, you know,
Damn.
Sugar's a,
Damn, you're just gonna do Sean like that?
well, I mean, let's put it like this. One of the greatest strikers in the league, for sure. Incredible to watch. But I think now he knows that he got checked and he has to go back and work on that takedown game. He's going to fight him again, right?
You know what though? That's one of the most beautiful things about MMA is that you get time to work on it and go again. You know, like in boxing, for example, you lose, that's it. Like you're out of the picture. Whereas in MMA, it's like you keep going. But you know what, Sean? I think he has the persona of like a cocky guy, but I don't think he's really like that. Like he's really flamboyant on social media, on YouTube and all the rest of it. But I think that Sean is like a grounded guy who works hard from my experience of him.
We know him very, he's fully locked in, him and Timmy. And right now he's just completely off the grid. He's not on social media. I think after that fight, he, you know, got back to work like very seriously, and I think he'll come back and get the job done next time. That was, you know, I wasn't trying to be critical. I thought that was, you know,
You think he's going to win the rematch?
Tough fight. That guy's,
I think
that
it's a
guy's
tough
tough as hell. That
Yeah.
guy's tough as hell.
he's just got to work in those damn takedowns.
See, for me, Merab is like, I don't know what's going on with him because his cardio and conditioning is unbelievable.
Yeah, his
I've
last
never
fight-
seen anything like it. It's
His last fight was
unbelievable.
like one of the best fights I've ever seen.
Yeah, because he just goes and goes and goes. Like he will not stop going at somebody. I've never seen anything like that guy. He's unbelievable.
I mean, you wouldn't know about your cardio really because you have the shortest average fight.
I've not got any. I just don't, like after a minute, I just exhaust
That's
myself. I
not
just
true.
can't.
That's
No, but that's what everybody thinks. That's what everybody thinks.
Well, we wouldn't know, bro. You have the shortest average fight time in UFC history at 2 minutes and 2 seconds.
Yep. That's good.
How would we know if you can go?
I don't. It's a mystery for everybody. You know what I absolutely love? It's one of my favorite things about my style is that nobody knows anything about me.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure we're going to get to some Jon Jones conversations at some point. Jon is a massive studier of his
Tapes.
opponents. Yeah, he's a massive tape studier. Like that's one of the things that he does best. And the tapes are just not really out there of me. And the fact that I live over here as well, I think it's a massive. I think some people see it like as a detriment living in the UK away from here. For me personally, I think it's amazing because like when I go to Vegas and training, like I see how intertwined everybody is with each other's business and stuff. And like I'm out here and I'm just doing my own thing and nobody knows anything about me and I love it.
You don't think he's got any spies out, MI5 type people?
Nope.
That are watching the camps, studying,
I don't think so.
taking secret GoPro videos and shit.
I
like
mean,
that?
there might be.
Pigeons.
Maybe. You never know.
Let's ask this question right now for the clip. Is Jon Jones scared to fight you?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, the thing with Jon is conning the public, man.
Whoa. And Logan Paul, it's his favorite fighter.
Yeah. Oh, is it really?
Well-
Yeah. Listen,
I mean, he's definitely top three. He's definitely top three.
absolutely. I'm not disputing that he's an amazing fighter. I think the fact that he didn't want to fight Ngannou for 3 years, and now he's not wanting to fight me for over a year, and he just the way he manipulates the media and the public is super smart. I'm not taking anything away from him, but do I think he's scared to take the tough fights at this stage in his career? Absolutely,
Can you understand that?
absolutely. Yeah, I can.
You like can empathize with that?
I respect it. But if you're going to ask me the straight up question, is Jon Jones afraid to fight me? The honest answer would be yes.
Well, is regardless of that and that fear, because clearly he's overcome it at times in the past. Is that fight fucking happening?
I cannot say or deny. No, right now we're actually waiting for news. We have had to do. I'm chasing it up. Like the UFC are saying that it's going to happen. I'm chasing it all the time. I want the fight really bad. You know what? It's not even like I see people online saying like, you know, the thing that happened with Conor and Chandler.
Yeah.
People are like, don't be like Michael Chandler.
Yeah.
Listen, it's not about the fighting Jon. It's about the UFC heavyweight title.
Yeah.
Like I've got a version of the title, but I want to be the undisputed champion. That's all it is. It doesn't matter about Jon. I'm trying to be the undisputed heavyweight champion. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm not chasing one fight. If I can fight Jon and get the biggest scalp in MMA, absolutely, I'll take it. Do you know what I mean? And it's a great time for me because he is slowing down a little bit and I've not even reached my prime yet. So,
Spoken like a true A side right there.
I mean, I'm not the A side. I'm not going to start pretending that I am. That guy's going to get $30 million to fight me. He's definitely the A side. But I definitely think it's a fight that I can win.
When he came back against Surreal,
Yeah.
you watched that fight?
Yeah.
Were you surprised at how good he still was after all these years?
No.
And moving up to heavyweight?
No, you know what? I think Jon, like you said, I think he's one of the best fighters ever. Definitely top 3. That's debatable when you start putting in about drug tests and stuff like that, I think.
Damn.
But he definitely, like, skill for skill, is one of the top 3 fighters ever. I'm not debating that at all.
What drug are you talking about specifically?
Well, he's done a few. I think he's done a few.
Bro, I can't tolerate the Jon Jones slander, bro. It was a fluke.
It was a
It was a recreational, you know, he has fun.
Is slander not when you're saying something that's inaccurate? That
is true.
No, I don't think so.
I think that's the definition of it.
No.
It is.
Somebody
it is
Google
slander.
No, that's libel. Think?
I think slander, the definition is that you've said something that's not true.
I thought it's basically
when you say something
when
that's
you're publicly
true,
saying, and it's true.
you're in the clear.
John, buddy, I'm trying. I'm trying, bro. I ran into him at the inauguration. Such a nice guy. Also, just proper bloke. Man, it would be crazy to see you guys fight, though.
I think it's
Probably
it's the biggest fight in MMA at the minute.
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, you got a few big fights. You got like DDP and Khamzat, huge fight.
Yeah.
You've got Ilia Topuria possibly fighting Islam Makhachev, massive fight. But I think, I mean, I'm obviously biased, but I always want to see the heavyweights fight like that.
Of
Bro,
course.
it's the best division.
Yeah.
When the heavyweight fight is on, even if they're not the main event, it's for me it's just the most exciting because, like you said,
You just never know.
those little gloves,
Yeah, you just never
big
know.
guys.
Yeah.
A chin is a chin. Hit that button on someone's face and they turn off.
I completely agree.
And the world wants this fight. Like you see these pressers and everybody in the crowd, at least a ton of the UK people and a ton of Americans are like, this is the fight we want.
Yep.
Dana, news as of 8 hours ago, is already talking about the fight that comes after it. So he's saying basically that the winner is going to fight Pereira.
I like it. I love it.
Who is a scarier opponent for you, Alex or Jon?
I think that's a tough question. You know what? Even though I might be saying all this stuff about Jon or whatever, I am not disputing his skills. He's
it doesn't sound like it.
Unbelievable.
It doesn't sound like it.
The same with Alex. One of the most dangerous guys, in my opinion, to ever fight in the UFC. He has that, I don't even know what you call it. He just has the thing where he touches you and you just die. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's unbelievable. I've never seen anybody. Does that translate to heavyweight? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
How does his punch resistance look at heavyweight? Because he has been knocked out at middleweight before. But again, you could put that down to cutting weight. Like when you're taking loads of like fluid out your body and away from your brain and stuff, and you're cutting a lot of weight the day before, and you get punched clean. Like that's what he was doing before. So maybe his chin's a little bit better. I don't know.
He's also not been getting hit. He's been so as of these recent fights. He's been
if he does
surgical in some of these past fights.
Yeah,
every shot is landing. The combos are incredible, and it's like he's easily one of the most dangerous fighters in the
absolute
sport
beast.
Right now.
He gets hit, but even if he does, it doesn't phase him
Shakes
at
it
all.
off.
Yeah, like at all. He just runs through.
Because it just depends on what fight.
Man, the
which fight.
first ever 3 division champion would be insane.
It would be. Well, not if he takes my belt. So we'll.
Yeah, no, yeah.
If he does it against someone else, that's pretty cool. But if it's against me,
Warzone fans, the wait is finally over. Verdansk is back on April 3rd.
Put some respect on Verdansk. Say it. It means a lot.
Verdansk.
It means a lot to the community.
Verdansk.
Fine.
You heard that right. Verdansk, the iconic map we all know and love, is returning to Call of Duty Warzone starting April 3rd. You'll be able to drop back into Verdansk, experience all the chaos, and relive the thrill you've been missing. It's the return of the map that started it all with iconic POIs like Superstore, Hospital, Prison, and more. Whether you're an OG Call of Duty Warzone fan or are dropping in for the very first time, Verdansk is ready to bring you the action, so gather your squad and get ready for intense battles, iconic landmarks, and heart-pumping moments that will keep you coming back for more. Experience new gameplay, updates, and the return of the Verdansk.
Say that with Verdansk.
No, because they hit behind the camera.
Weaponry.
Grab your friends and get ready to opt in. Drop into Verdansk when it returns on April 3rd. This is the moment you've been waiting for, and it's going to be epic. Download Call of Duty Warzone for free and drop into Verdansk on April 3rd. Rated
M for mature. And I'm going to be dropping Superstore. Just letting you know right now, April 3rd, I will be dropping Superstore. You guys can meet me there in Verdansk. Download it now, or on April 3rd even is better because that's when it's out. back to the program.
You mentioned it when talking about your title. You said it's a version of the championship.
Yeah.
And you know, it is the interim heavyweight championship. Does that bother you? Or can you still feel proud that you are the current UFC heavyweight
you know
champion?
what? I'm currently ranked #1 in the world, which is amazing.
Yeah.
But I want to be known as the best. I don't like. See, this is for me. This is where the UFC separates from like boxing, because in boxing you got a million divisions and you got 5 or 6 champions at each weight.
Yeah.
And it's like, this guy's a world champion. Oh, well, what about this guy? Oh, this guy's a world champion as well. Oh, what about this? Oh, so they've got like 5 champions, and that's a bit weird for me. Like, I think there should be like one face, one name, every division. And I obviously want it to be me, whereas Jon's like doing some weird stuff about it. Like I say, the problem isn't with Jon. The problem is the fact that he's sitting on the belt and not doing anything. So I think that, to answer your question, I want to be known as the guy at heavyweight, or at least have a shot. You know, like, just give me a shot. Give me the opportunity to do it. And I think I can do it.
How much of it do you think is drawing Jon out, like you personally, versus deal size, Dana? Like, is there something you could say right now, like down the pipe, that's gonna get him out of that wherever he is? I
don't think much of it. I think he just wants money, you know. I just think he wants money.
I mean, dude, it's a huge. It's the fight. It is the fight.
I think it's down to him and Dana or whoever else.
Yeah.
Dana loves Jon Jones.
He's trying to grease up his ego a little bit. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what he's trying to do. But I think ultimately Jon's just after some money. And fair play. Like, I would be the same.
Well, again, you are a dangerous fight, so it has to be worth it if it doesn't go his way. You know, that he can still walk home and be like, damn, I just made, you know, X million dollars, and I feel fine.
Yeah.
You were mentioning some of the guys in the UFC right now, some of the super fights, and everyone is such a good fighter right now. I feel like the talent in the UFC has gotten so good.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the UFC as an entertainment vehicle at the moment?
I mean, I can only speak for how it looks in the UK because this is where I live, this is where I'm from.
Yeah.
And since like after the pandemic, it just went massive. Like, we had a few big shows at the O2 Arena. And if you're from the UK, like, that's the place that you wanna fight.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
yeah, for sure.
Like, I'm from Manchester, I'm not from London, but it's like, if you're fighting in London in the O2 Arena, it's like, for us, it's massive. So we had a few massive shows there, and it's skyrocketed in this country now. It's huge. And just the level is unbelievable. Like, I went to a local show on the weekend. I've not been to a local show for maybe 5 years. And I'm seeing like amateur female fights, 2 girls who are like 18, 19, and the skills are unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like it's what you used to see in the UFC like 10 years ago, and now you're seeing like amateur girls with like 1 or 2 fights doing the same thing as like UFC fighters did 10 years ago. It's unbelievable how far it's come.
It's insane. You see like highlights of some of the greats.
Yeah.
And they just don't, it doesn't look as competitive as
No,
it
it's
is
really
now.
weird you say that, because recently I was watching a Crow Cop fight, and Crow Cop is like one of my heroes.
Of course.
And I was watching him fight a guy, and I didn't actually know who the guy was. It was a UFC fight. And I was watching, I was like, these two like don't look very good. You know, like, because I'm used to watching, and I'm not saying Crow Cop isn't good by any stretch of the imagination, but compared to like today's MMA, it's just the levels are so different now than they were like 15 years ago.
Feels way different.
Yeah,
no?
so different.
Okay. And I see guys like Ariel Helwani saying at the moment he thinks UFC is lacking like a star. There's a serious like superstar problem.
I don't think it's just him saying that either. It's a little bit of the sentiment right now in terms of I think it was where your question about entertainment value was going. Like, we've entered this like Dagestani wrestling period. Like, some are already calling it the boring era of the UFC. I'm not personally saying that, by the way. Neither is anyone on this podcast, Logan Paul, or the Impulsive podcast as a whole, or Tom Aspinall. I should say that right now. But people are saying it. Some people are saying that. And so, like, who is going to be the person that brings that bravado, that knockout style? Because it was Sean for a second. Like, people really loved watching Sean. They loved watching him knock people out. And then all of a sudden, you got this fucking little fucking takedown problem that ruined the day, you know? And it's like,
well, I think that's quite subjective, to be honest. I think
listen, I'm a Sean guy. I'm a Sean guy.
No, I mean, I like Sean as well, of course. He's one of my favorite fighters, to be honest. But I actually like that Dagestani style of wrestling. I actually really appreciate it for what it is, because it's really hard to pull off that kind of stuff. But I think when you got guys like Ilya Topuria, who's in the mix now, DDP, and especially these guys are coming from like all over the world. Do you know what I mean? Like we're not just, I don't know, I feel like the American bravado style of being like cocky and stuff, no offense, but I think that that's like is mainly appreciated like in America. But like the other stuff, like if you take a Dagestani guy and walk him around the streets of Dag, he's not going to be able to move. He's going to be that popular. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's looking at it from like a very North American point of view. Whereas in other parts of the world, I think they appreciate it a bit differently.
Makes complete sense. And you've seen like, I get that completely. Like certain countries value respect, ritual, tradition so much more than America does. And we see, you know, a Conor, or we see, you know, some psychopath like that screaming and talking shit to somebody, and we're like, wow, that's so fun. You know, it's a good point. We're very different people, certainly.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like a culture thing. And I'm, you know, an American. I'm from Ohio. I partially watch for the sport, but at the end of the day, I want to be entertained. You know, I want to see a dolly going through a fucking bus.
Yeah, you like that?
Like, you know, like I want to see shit fall apart.
Yeah.
Do you plan on throwing a dolly through a bus or anything?
You know what? I think you always have to like play to your strengths, to like your personality, and I think that the public can see if that's not your personality and you're trying it. Like, especially when Conor was in, we've seen so many guys trying to be Conor.
So true.
And
so true.
And you see through it.
I personally just look at it and I'm just like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Like, what? This is so corny.
Anybody
like,
particular that you comes to mind?
A lot of UK guys did it, like on the local scene, trying to be Conor, and it's just like, what are you doing? Like, if that is your personality, absolutely, like, take your personality to the next level and go for that. But if that's not you, then I think you should take your own strengths and run with whatever you're good at. Do you know what I mean? So I think I do like to see it, but if your personality isn't throwing dollies through a bus, like that's not really my scene.
Yeah.
Like I'm not just gonna start doing it just to like try and make money or whatever or get eyes up. Like I feel like I've got other ways. Like me personally, I got to hit you once to knock you out. Like if that isn't exciting for people, then they aren't fans of the sport. Do you know what I mean? Like if they want to watch like a drama show, like go and do that thing. But for me personally, I'm trying to fucking knock people unconscious, man. And like if you don't like that, then go and do something else.
That's a great
That was
answer.
sick.
That
was sick.
Yeah.
Dude, such a wise answer. And I like it too, because you're basically saying be yourself in a roundabout way.
Important.
Authenticity, especially nowadays. Because you're so right. Like, dude, I was one of those guys trying to be Conor. Like when we first got into boxing, me and Jake, we were like, we're gonna wear suits like Conor.
No, but it does sell though, and it's so. But I think that if you have that in you a little bit, then definitely like exaggerate that.
Yeah,
a little bit.
yeah.
But if you don't and you're just completely faking it, I think that people are just like, what the fuck is this guy doing?
No, we had a little bit of
definitely.
it, but and now I think we have our version of it. But I look back and I could see me like emulating and not being. But also at the time we were so young. Like I didn't really know we didn't really know who we were.
Definitely.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm sure it took you a while to like come into your own and realize what your strengths were that you're speaking
still
about.
working on it. Yeah. Still working on it. Do you know what I mean? But I definitely I'm nearly 32. So like we spoke about before, I'm like married with 3 kids and I've got the whole thing going. So I think as you get older and progress through life, you just naturally start gravitating to what your morals are. Do you know what I mean? And I'm still learning. I'm not mastered life or this career by any stretch of the imagination, but I know what I'm all about and I know what I want to get across and what I want to do. So I'm just working on that.
Got a good head on your shoulders.
I'm
man.
trying.
It definitely seems
we need some thoughts on the potential Logan Paul UFC arc. Okay, let's talk about this for a second.
What weight are you? Like what's your weight?
I'd probably fight 185, which is a tough fucking weight
so
class.
Name some of your opponents in that class. Like who would you be fighting against?
At one point, Pereira. I think Drukas.
DDP. Yeah. DDP's the man at the minute in that division. Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. It would have been Izzy at one point.
Is it too late for him to?
Well, I've seen you do you seem like really athletic. I actually seen you do the wrestling stuff. I was a massive fan. I actually went to a wrestling event recently.
Hell yeah! So you met Cody?
Yeah, I was with Cody. Yeah, Cody Rhodes. What a nice guy as well.
Yeah,
cool guy.
One of the best in the business.
Yeah, awesome guy. And I actually really, that's maybe something I would look at doing when I've retired from MMA. I would love to do that stuff. That is cool. Like I was not only the entertainment side, but the athletic side. I was so fucking impressed with what these guys are doing. It's unbelievable. But I don't think you're too old. Like, how old are you? You're not 30.
29.
Yeah, I think you can still
almost
do it.
30 though.
I think you can still do it.
I could get one for the right opponent, but it wouldn't be a DDP, dude. I'm not fighting for a world title or fuck it.
Did you speak to? Did you have any?
Let's get it.
Did you have any conversation with the UFC about it?
I did. I told Dana for UFC 300. I texted him. I said, "Hey man, like consider me available to fight on the undercard in the Sphere." Basically completely ignored me.
No,
which I think spoke volumes. Haven't bothered him about it since. But you know, I think for the right fight, the right amount of money, like man, I'm an entertainer at the end of the day.
I mean, I would watch it.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
bro.
I think a lot of people would watch it because of his overall perceived ineptitude in the space. People would be like, "This is my best opportunity to see him."
Did you follow like the CM Punk saga when he was like in the UFC and stuff?
I did.
Could you not do something like kind of goes down the similar path to
He
that?
fucked it up.
Yeah, he wasn't very good,
No,
to be honest.
and he fucked it up. And after that, Dana was like, "I'm never doing this again."
Yeah, it's
but
tough
like,
one.
dude, I'm not CM Punk.
No, you definitely don't move like him from the little stuff that I've seen.
No.
And the boxing and stuff.
He's a great wrestler, not a UFC fighter. Not a great UFC fighter. And I think I would be a much better UFC fighter than I would just a boxer.
You think so?
Well, my skill is wrestling.
Okay.
Like I am a wrestler.
I did see a video
by
of you
trade.
wrestling actually.
Yeah.
Who was that with at the PI?
It was with Paulo Costa. Yeah, you know, but you know, I think I found a path, dude. Like I'm a WWE superstar now.
Yeah.
And it's one of the only things I've done in my life where I feel so at home. Like oh, you were kind of like meant to do this thing, and so I don't know if I want to like turn away from that at the moment and dedicate time to something that would be like a side quest at this point.
I mean, you got to put a lot of time in if you want to be a good level.
Yeah, bro. And I don't.
But it all depends on the opponent, doesn't it? Like if you're going to fight an actual MMA fighter who's like me, who's been going since I was 8 years old.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be tricky, to be honest. But
yeah, you don't say.
But if you're going to fight somebody else who's like kind of in something else and switching over like you, I think it could easily.
That
be
would be
doable.
it.
Yeah.
It would be a co-main event of someone else who's like their first MMA fight ever. I have some names in mind, but like. You know.
Oh, go on, tell us a few. Go on.
I mean,
who exists in that realm?
There's a. I don't even want to say it because it's pointless. But like people know who would be like good contenders for this. Well, no, I'm done saying names because
I get it.
It's just pointless.
Yeah.
No one actually follows up or is interested.
Got it.
And again, dude, I'm doing WWE. I'm involved now. I'm Logan from the future. Here's a question. What is a mechanic and auto shop owner in Georgia, a taco restaurant operator in Arizona, and a life-saving medical innovator in Tennessee have in common? That's right, they're all small businesses, and they're all thriving on TikTok. Across the U.S., over 7.5 million businesses, from family-owned shops to entrepreneurs, are using TikTok to compete and grow. In fact, 74% of businesses on TikTok say that TikTok has allowed them to scale their operations, which increases sales and allows them to expand to new locations. And that growth means jobs. Today, there are over 7.5 million U.S. businesses on TikTok, employing over 28 million people, and those numbers continue to grow. Small businesses thrive on TikTok. You can learn more about TikTok's contribution to the United States economy on TikTokeconomicimpact.com. Back to the program. You'd be sick at WWE.
Honestly, I went and, like you say, my personality is not this whole bravado thing. But I went and I actually met the guys who were involved with WWE, the wrestlers and the staff, and I was like, this is fucking, like, I like this. Like, I like it a lot. And I got in the ring. We had like a little cameo for me. I didn't actually get to wrestle because the UFC put the blockers on that a little bit.
I'm sure.
But I thought maybe they'll let me throw like 1 or 2 punches just to, but they didn't let me. But I would absolutely, that's something that I would really enjoy doing. Just like as a little outlet when I finish from fighting. Because I think I've been pretty open with my fighting career. Like I want to be done sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
I would rather be a couple too early than a couple too late, because now we get into the realm, and I don't want to like sit on the podcast and name drop anybody who's struggling at the moment. But there's a couple of peers who are like the generation above me who I'm close friends with now. And those guys are struggling.
Yeah, it's like you should have called it.
Yeah, like physically.
Do you think it's a money thing though? Like because you still got to make money after you are done fighting, and if that's the only real thing you know how to do to generate a significant amount of income.
Well, I don't know, because I think if you're like an elite level and you're fighting for like, you're making money, but
Okay.
I think it's just like in us. Like, I've been doing this thing all my life. That's what I've got. Is it's like fight, the fight's over, I spend a little chill time, then I get another date, start training again. That's all I know.
Okay.
And when that's gone, what replaces it? And also, what replaces 25,000 people screaming your name?
Playing in the Sidemen charity match.
What does that? What replace? Playing in the Sidemen? No, I'm all right. Thanks.
That's like 90,000, isn't it?
That's a lot of people. Tom.
No, do you know what? I think the feeling that I will miss the most, and it's one of the scariest feelings, is being sat in that arena, and I fought all over the world at this point, and you sat there, and you're getting your hands wrapped, the officials wrapping your hands, and you can hear the roar of the crowd like it's shaking the walls, and you know that somewhere, and you are scared to get in there, and you know that somewhere else in that arena is somebody else getting their hands wrapped as well, and you guys are just going to meet in the middle in front of millions of people and just fight. Like, and that sounds weird.
It sounded awesome,
sounds
to be
sick.
honest.
But-
the way you just put it,
Like,
sounded
how
like
awesome.
a
But
movie.
that's what I look forward to, is like those mental battles with yourself of, there's another guy in here going through the same thing as me, and we don't know each other, and we're just going to go in there, and one of us is probably going to be separated from our consciousness, and we are going to go home and continue life afterwards, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah. And it's just, what replaces that? I don't know.
So badass.
Nothing,
The
like
way you
nothing.
say it is
Like,
just-
how do you know, that was one of the sickest like verbal illustrations
Yeah.
I've heard of that moment. But like, yeah, what do? Do you go back to, you know, the English countryside and raise calves and get milk? Like, what do you do, dude? You know, like what type of equivalent is there in your
Well, I don't know.
waning
Sidemen
years?
charity match.
Sidemen charity match?
Why not?
Well,
Would you ever consider being a YouTuber?
I mean, I've
Podcaster?
got a channel. I've got a YouTube channel. It's in its infancies, but we're doing all right. We're doing well. Check it out, Tom Aspinall Official, if you're not already, please.
It's actually in the description.
Oh,
of
is
this
it? Oh,
video.
great. Oh, thank you.
Wait,
Thank you.
do you like it?
I like it. Yeah. It's just difficult to, like, I can't do it full time because I have to train twice a day. Like, I have to train twice a day. I have to be home. I have to be in a routine. I have to do what it takes to be the best athlete in the world. And that can't be me flying all over the world, doing different collaborations with different people, all the stuff that it takes to be a successful YouTuber with, you know, full time. I can't do it at the moment.
It's stress. What type of what's the content like vibe?
Oh,
like?
we're just doing like different things. Like we're doing like, I try different sports. That's like a bit of a theme that we got going, and like I collaborate with different people, show them a bit of MMA and stuff like that. Just we were doing all right with it. Like we've been going like a year and we're doing well.
I didn't know if you did like had a niche like Volk cooking.
Cooking.
Volk.
Oh, that's awesome though. Volk was actually telling me now that there's like his channel's doing so well that people don't even know that he's a UFC fighter.
So that's hilarious.
That's wild. That's absolutely
That's
wild.
amazing.
Hey, I was walking through security at LAX yesterday and somebody said, "You're the guy with that burger." And it was the first time it ever happened. And he was like, "You have the 1010 burger, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Have you seen the podcast?" He's like, "What? Where's the burger?" And I was like, so it's funny when people
awesome.
start
That's
to, it's almost like a credibility point, a proof point for your evolution.
It's cool.
But imagine Volk actually just does become a straight up
He
niche
totally
YouTuber,
could.
and that's it.
A cooking niche YouTuber.
If he loves it, I love
It's
Volk,
actually
dude.
really good. Like I've tuned in a couple of
We've been
times.
on
and
it.
like, oh really?
Yeah.
You cook? What's the food like?
We did
It's good.
was it a smash burger or
I thought it was a burger.
a smash burger, right?
I think so.
I mean, it's
No,
not.
it was the quesadilla burger.
Oh,
Remember?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if the people really liked us very much.
I don't think people really like us.
That might be the easier way to put it.
Yeah, I'm struggling. I'll be honest. I'm struggling over it. Like,
No, I feel like you're pretty likable. Do you have haters?
yeah, of course. Yeah.
What do
Of
they
course.
hate on?
I mean, what do people not hate on these days? I think that's the better question.
Yeah.
I think if you're in the public eye in any capacity, not even in the public eye, if you're doing like something that other people don't want to do,
Yeah.
like I'm from a town where no one really does anything. I'm sure you guys are from a similar place. And it's like, if you put yourself out there in any capacity, people are going to hate on you. That's just the way of the world, unfortunately.
So
Success.
weird.
Yeah, it is
Success
weird.
is the biggest.
It's not even always just success. It's like even just it's being different. It's so unfamiliar for people, and it's kind of like you get shunned and ridiculed.
Yeah.
Like when you were growing up, and did you say like I want to be a UFC fighter?
I did actually. I actually did.
Did anyone take you seriously?
I was actually always training. Like my dad was an MMA fighter before me. My dad's a coach as well, so he's like quite known around the area and stuff. So it was actually quite realistic, believe it or not.
Oh, no way.
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
it was actually quite realistic. Like no one was like, look at this guy. Everyone was like, oh, well, fair enough. Yeah, you're gonna try it. So yeah, I was actually, I was very lucky in that regard. Like a lot of people believed in me from.
Yeah, that must be nice.
Yeah, it was.
Imagine me saying, I'm going to be a BMX rider and I can't do anything. I just suck so bad.
That was a crazy thing for you to say, I feel like.
Yeah, I said multiple things. I said I was going to go get my master's at Columbia. All I ended up doing was heroin. Such a horrible turn, dude. Like, I made it out, but just didn't.
Barely.
See, if people had told me, yeah, we believe in you to be the BMX rider, I probably would have skipped the drugs.
It's your peer's fault.
Yeah,
it's
what the Justin Spear, you asshole.
Justin
You
drove you
didn't
to
fucking,
drugs.
yeah, dude.
Asshole, dude.
I got the book out of it. That was good, at least.
So that's good. Your dad, you still work with him?
Still work with him.
Is he your coach?
He's my coach and manager. And
Whoa.
dad.
And dad.
You got a dadager?
Oh yeah, well I never heard that before. Yeah,
That's
I do.
what we call
I
it in
do.
the States.
Yeah, I do.
It's a thing in the United
Oh,
States.
it is. Britney
It's a-
Spears. That shit.
Correct.
It's not Britney Spears
Has
level.
anything like that ever happened?
No, we're doing all right. I mean, obviously we have the thing with having a dad as a manager and a coach and all the rest of it is sometimes it's like blurred lines. Do you know what I mean? It's like at what point does it become dad or coach? And sometimes it is a bit tricky, obviously, but he's been amazing.
Do you have
He's
to
incredible.
tell him which version of him you want?
Sometimes.
You'll like,
And the same, like, you know, I just need to be like told, you need to tell me it's my dad at the minute. It becomes a bit blurry sometimes, but I wouldn't change it. I've said for the longest time, like, if my dad, say I came out of this podcast now, my dad called me and said, you know what, Tom, I think you should retire. I would be like, yep, absolutely.
no way.
Yeah.
He has that kind of influence on you?
He does. I mean, yeah, I think that's like our thing. He's mine. Like, if my dad wasn't here, I wouldn't do it. That's like our thing.
Or you guys just see so aligned.
Yeah, we're just pretty aligned.
Yeah.
We're just pretty aligned, I think. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
so important to have somebody that sees things.
I wouldn't trust anybody else to like run my stuff like that. No chance.
It's given Khabib a little bit. I feel like he had a pretty similar relationship with his dad, and when his dad passed, I think he did one more fight, then he called it. Or I think I have that.
I think that's right. Yeah. I think that's correct.
That's not super common in MMA.
No, it's quite rare. It is quite rare. But like I say, my dad's been. I don't think people realize how many training sessions you need to become like one of the most elite athletes in the world in any sport. You need to dedicate your whole life, and my dad's been at literally 95% of the training sessions since I was 8 years old.
Damn.
So that's a lot.
Damn,
That's
dude.
a lot of
So
shit,
he was all in on you.
Yeah, he's all in on it.
Do you have any siblings?
I've got a brother. Yeah.
And does he fight?
He doesn't, but he does coach a little bit. Like he does. I think to be a professional cage fighter, you have to be like all in. And if you're not all in, you're gonna get beat up in front of loads of people. That's just the way it goes. And I think he is one of the smart people who realizes I'm not all in, so I'm not even going to do it. And I think that's fair enough, because a lot of people, like, they've got 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and I don't think that ends well for anybody. And he could see the dedication that I was putting in, and he realized that that's not for him. So
is he older or younger?
He's younger.
Okay.
So did you beat him up as a kid?
Not really. I mean, we're siblings, so you know.
You got into it sometimes.
Yeah, we've got into it at times. Yeah, but nothing major.
Did you fight outside of like martial arts as a kid? Did you get in Manchester style hooligan street fights where somebody might potentially get shanked?
Well, yeah.
Did anyone get shanked?
What, have I seen anybody? Yeah, I have seen somebody was stabbed. Yeah.
God dang it.
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, I shouldn't be laughing. It's not really funny.
No, it's not funny. Sorry.
Yeah, I've seen that. Damn, unfortunately.
What's your record in the streets?
Losing.
Bro, yeah. Actually, it's such a different ball game.
I've not had a street fight for a long time, and I want to try and keep it that way.
What was the last? What happened?
So I used to work as a doorman and as a bouncer. And so all the jobs that I've ever had were basically just to fund my training. You know what I mean? Because MMA doesn't pay shit, especially outside the UFC.
Yep.
Like now I'm doing all right, but I am, like I say, one of the best in the world. But before, especially pre-UFC, terrible. So all my jobs were like to fund me being in the UFC, not doing MMA full time. And I used to work like on the doors at the weekend, like on a club. And I mean, people get drunk, people take drugs, and people fight. That's the way it goes. So
especially Manchester's pretty rough.
It can be, yeah, for sure. Like anywhere, good parts and bad parts, good people and bad people. Yeah.
What parts are good exactly?
What of Manchester?
Oh, there is. Are there a bit outside?
Why?
Are we positive?
Are you saying
Yeah,
you've never
yeah.
been to a good part? There's some definite good parts.
I went to a park that was nice.
But what in the city? No, if you go outside the city, it's pretty nice, you know.
Bro, as soon as you said
Yeah.
that, he started gripping that pillow
it's,
so
uh,
hard.
bad
dude.
memories from parks.
He has he probably has so much Manchester pride, bro. Like,
No, I like Manchester a lot. Good city, I think.
Damn, I just never heard anyone say that.
No.
What does a busy month look like for you? Just training, yeah?
Training, kids.
Three
Kids, they're getting older. 3 boys, they're getting older now. So
how old?
they're not that old. 8, 5, and 5. I got twins.
Are you roughing them up?
They're roughing each other up.
No way.
They're roughing each other up. I don't need to do much roughing up. Yeah, they're roughing each other up. So I got that. And then, I got the media stuff going, YouTube channel, social media, as well as training,
Yeah, you're busy.
traveling a little bit. It's just, it's going. It's going. But I take my, I actually take my rest and my mental health pretty serious. Like, I don't like to, my cup has to be nearly full for me to be performing in the gym. Like, if I'm burning the candle at both ends, my performances go to shit. So I'm very conscious of that. So if I ain't sleeping in the day, if I ain't getting a sauna, if I ain't, seeing the physiotherapist twice a week, if I'm not having that time on my own, the output's not there in the gym. So that's very important to me as well.
He seems dialed
You're
in.
locked in,
I'm
dude.
dialed
Yeah,
in.
locked
I'm dialed in.
I asked
Absolutely.
because, like, you see more and more fighters nowadays willing to be vulnerable about their struggles.
Yeah.
Volk, Paddy, a lot of those guys. And it seems like you take the approach of caring so much for your body that it seems like your mind kind of follows. Is
Yeah.
that an accurate assessment?
I think that's pretty accurate, yeah. And I think that it's difficult because when you start getting big in MMA, and when I say big, I mean popular and winning titles and stuff like that, other opportunities do come, of course. Lucrative ones where you can make money, become more popular and do all this stuff. Now, for me, that's good. But also, I'm trying to be the freaking best ever. So that comes first before anything. So I'm making sure I'm doing that stuff and ticking those boxes because ultimately, like we talked about at the beginning of the podcast, you want to be popular, you want people to care about you, you want people to tune in for your fights. That's important. But what's more important than that to me is winning. And that ain't going to happen if you're spending too much time on the other shit. So I am in the gym religiously, recovering religiously, making my diets on point, making sure my diet's on point. Everything. I'm doing everything that I can to be the best version that I possibly can. And I won't miss it.
He's fucking
You're dialed in, brother.
Yeah, I won't miss it.
Are you do you have bad days?
Yeah, I was
I would
gonna ask
assume
that
you
as
do.
well.
All the time. All the time.
Is any of it mental, or is there always something that you could track it back to, like very, very, very palpable and physical that you could track it back to?
I mean, as a man, and I'm not saying all men are like this, but I know I'm definitely a suppressor of emotions. So I'm trying to deal with that more. I'm trying to confront my emotions more and try and deal with it now rather than 6 months later.
I'm doing it right now.
Yeah.
Compartmentalizing.
He's doing great.
I texted him today. I was
You
like,
look fantastic.
Thank
You look
bro.
great.
I appreciate
Yeah, you're
that.
crushing it.
Thank you.
No, but I'm trying to do that better. Do you know what I mean? Deal with it now rather than
Exploding.
squashing it down. 6 months later, it's going to catch up with me, and I don't want that.
in a bad way.
Yeah, I don't want that. I don't want it.
So interesting, man. This conversation never would have taken place 10 years ago. I feel like.
Yeah, I think so.
Like the mental health conversation, especially for fighters, because you feel like, if you're a fighter, you got to be a tough guy.
Yeah,
Can't talk about your emotions. Bury
definitely.
it. Turn
Definitely.
it off.
I mean, that happens all the time. I mean, that's part of being a man, I think. But especially fighters, because we're supposed to be all alpha male. I will openly speak about how scared I am when I fight, and there is, as far as I'm aware, there might be others. I'm sure there are others actually, but there's me and GSP who spoke about it a lot.
Tyson does it as well.
Tyson, yeah,
Mike Tyson.
yeah. But there's so many UFC fighters who are like, I ain't fucking scared. I'll fight anybody, and I'll definitely fight anybody as well. But it's still scary. And I'm open with it, and I feel like when you are open with that, and you embrace it, it gives you a whole superpower in itself. You're like,
You own it.
I'm fucking scared, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to look across, whether it's Jon Jones or somebody else, I'm going to look them in the eye, and I'm going to be like, I'm fucking scared, but I'm coming for you. And I want to, as we said before, I want to separate you from your consciousness. That's what I'm looking to do. I'm trying to knock everybody out but I'm scared of every single person. But that fear makes me super sharp.
Doesn't that make you? Don't you think that makes you more of a man if you think about it?
Well,
Like, say you have somebody that doesn't feel fear, or like the case that we're talking about with me doesn't have these demons and shows up. When you show up, or I show the fuck up on days when we are scared to or feel shitty about it, like, doesn't that make you fucking even more of a warrior?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. And I learned a lot of this stuff from GSP. Now, I know GSP personally now, but a lot of it I just learned from like watching podcasts and watching his stuff, because he's so open, and he's like say 10 years before me, maybe even more.
Yeah.
And that guy's going out there fighting like guys like Nick Diaz, who are giving him the finger and doing all kinds, pissing him off constantly. And he's like, yeah, I'm scared, but I'm going to go over there and kick your ass anyway. And I absolutely love that.
One of the
like,
best.
Upfront and honest with your emotions, honest with yourself, facing yourself and overcoming it anyway. I absolutely love that.
I certainly feel like it gives you a freedom in like that authenticity to yourself.
It does
like,
for me.
Sort of. I've had a good experiences sometimes, just like surrendering to life and just being like, you know, this is it. I'll just be. And it's really interesting because I wonder ultimately if every fighter was being 100% truthful with themselves, what version of locking in for a fight is more effective? Whether it's like trying to pretend you're supremely confident and you're Superman walking into that ring and having no fear and thinking you're the best in the world and then proving it, or being that animal that's kind of been backed in a corner and you are operating out of fear. Because like there's definitely a part of you that knows you're really good and you're capable of.
I think it's got to be a healthy balance. It's difficult with fighting, especially because it's so subjective. Like everybody's different. True. Every single person steps in there for a different reason and wants a different thing out of it. But I know for me personally, having that honesty with myself, because I say it all the time, I used to have 2 fights. Like, I used to be fighting my opponent, but mainly I was like fighting myself. I was like, I'm not scared. And like trying to push it out, just trying to block it. And like, that's never going to happen. For me personally, maybe it's different for other guys, but for me personally, I was like, I ain't going to get rid of this. So I've got to use it to help me win. And once I figured that out, that's when the trajectory's been like steep.
Sick.
Yeah. That's just a rule of mental health and internal dialogue in general. Anytime you try to fight thoughts hard, make them stop, you're gonna lose. You're never gonna win that battle. It is always an ongoing effort to coexist with those thoughts and learn how to utilize them. You know, because somebody asked me one time, they're like, I had this long talk about like, what are thoughts? And even that in itself was such an interesting conversation. Like, what are they? Like what would your answer to that be?
It's such a hard
I don't know.
It's like synapses firing. So what they said to me was, the best way to look at your thoughts, especially if you're someone that kind of has trouble with them sometimes, like I am, is like clouds. You see a cloud, sometimes you'll think it's a pretty cool cloud, but it's passing by. It's just going. You know what I'm saying? And then there's another cloud. And so like you kind of have to figure out like what things you want to hold on to and what things you want to just let pass by.
Yeah. Interesting.
Do you ever like give yourself the perspective or think about how you're like a modern day gladiator, and like you see the Roman Colosseum and you know that men and maybe women, but probably not.
I think it was men.
Probably just men. At the time, used to like fight for their lives, right? And there's all these people watching them and cheering on this like primal human brutality. Do you feel like that is in you? And do you feel like if you were alive in another era, you would have been like a gladiator, like a warrior, fighting for your life?
I think it's in all of us as men.
I don't know.
I think it is.
Some real
pussies out there. Yeah, I know what you mean.
They're all on Twitter, bro.
I didn't want to say anything about Mike, but you know.
No, he can scrap.
No, I know. I'm joking.
I'm fighting for my life, man.
No, but I don't know. I think it's a bit dramatic when you start thinking like that.
Really?
Maybe. I try not to think like that. I try and think of it just like a sport. Okay. That's the way that I operate best. The way that I operate best, me personally, and again, it's all subjective, is when I'm like enjoying myself. So I try and enjoy it.
We hear that so much, dude.
Try and enjoy myself. If I'm thinking about life or death stuff, I'm probably going to freeze up in there. So I don't want to do that. I'm like trying to.
You're like, you definitely. We've spoken to a lot of really high level people and high level athletes, and you're definitely
completely
talking
dialed.
Oh, good. Thank you.
One of the highest
I'm
level
dialed
athletes.
in. I'm absolutely dialed in. And I'm also aware something else is that like, I'm going to be 32 soon, like next month. That's not old by any stretch.
No.
But I'm aware that I'm closer to the end than the beginning. So, like, I'm going all in.
The end of
bro.
your career.
Yeah, man, you're not my life. I hope not. I hope not. You never know. You never know, but I hope not.
Yeah.
But I want to be like, all in. Do you know what I mean? So if it doesn't work for whatever reason, and I think it's going to work, obviously, but at least I can look back and be like, you tried your best. And that's all that anybody can ever ask, is that you tried your best. And that I was both feet in. I did everything right, from nutrition to the mental side of things, to training twice a day, to the routine, to the sleep, to the physiotherapy, to everything. I want to tick every single box so that in 5 years or 10 years, I can look back and go, look, you tried your best.
Yeah.
And that's all I can do.
How debilitating is it when you do give it this 110% effort that you're describing and someone, God, puts a stick in your spokes and you fly over the front of the handlebars and face plant on the ground, whether it's an injury or like, I don't know, get dropped in practice, whatever your version of it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's not great, but that's part of the sport, unfortunately. Like, that's what we signed up for. And I think that I can never speak for other fighters because I only know how my own mind works. But like, there's two of us in there. We're literally now, we're talking with my career, we're at the top of the mountain. Like, there's not many of us there. Only one of us is going to make it. There's two of us. So it's essentially a 50-50 who's going to win. And I think, as confident as I am, and I honestly believe that I'm the best heavyweight walking around on planet Earth right now. I seriously believe it. But that still means that I can lose because it's MMA. And it's the most unpredictable sport in the most unpredictable division in the world. We're massive guys. I'm 6'5", 260. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm a big guy. Like, if I hit anybody with the small gloves on clean, or if anybody hits me, we're probably going to be unconscious. And that's what we sign up for. So you just got to kind of expect it, as weird as it sounds. Like, if I get knocked out, as we just spoke about, like, I've tried my best. And that's all I can do. But do I think I'm the best heavyweight in the world? Absolutely. But does that mean I can lose? Absolutely.
That said, you mentioned it, the best heavyweight MMA fighter in the world. I think by default, that also makes you the baddest man on the planet. Does that ever cross your mind?
I don't know. What does that mean, though? Define that.
It means that if you were toe-to-toe with any other man in the world, you could kill them. And you would win.
I don't know.
What? Who?
We've had this discussion on the show multiple times before.
Don't know.
Like who? What?
What do they call them? SAS? What's like
SAS?
Like an army guy?
Yeah, that's that's always been my curiosity. Me and him have always seen differently on it because at the end of the day, what he would win?
Yeah.
But hold on. Let's just go through this really quick. He's trained to maim and hurt. These people are trained to kill. Simply.
No, but you're
no. I'm not saying he wouldn't get it done. What I'm saying is there's different training tactics.
The tactics are
like, they're looking for points to end your life. They want to either separate brainstem, they want to render you lifeless.
I do completely agree, but I do have a counter argument, if I may.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
who am I? I can't stop you. There's nothing I can do to stop you, dude.
So, and I mean, I'm not trying to like dick measure here at all.
Yep.
But like, we are trained to hurt each other. That's part of the sport. Like you say, they are trained to kill. They are trained to poke eyes, knee in the groin, headbutt, do all the stuff that we can't do by rules. But when the rules are taken away, who's to say that we can't headbutt them and poke them in the eye and knee them in the balls and do all the other stuff? Like, I would like to think, at least, that MMA fighters, if we're talking no weapons, you could get any MMA fighter and put him against a SAS special whatever, and they had no weapons, I'm pretty sure that 9 times out of 10, the MMA guy will come out on top.
I'd
like to think so. I don't know if that's true. But
probably. We saw a version of this where Strickland invited a Navy SEAL to come spar with him. Granted,
that's
different battleground per se. Like, when you're out fighting for your life on an actual battlefield and there's like lead flying across the air, different story. But, you know, bro, Strickland beat the fuck out of this Navy, like beat the living shit out of him. And I don't know. I think like, just to kind of circle back, because you are so grounded, but like, does it ever cross your mind? Like,
No, it doesn't. To be honest,
never.
no.
You never just want to find a Navy SEAL and
No. That's not what I'm asking. I'm just like, for me, again, a fan of the sport, someone who understands the sport. Any time, like whoever is the UFC heavyweight champion of the world, in my opinion, is the baddest man on the planet, which is a pretty cool thing to say.
Oh, wait,
I don't know. Like
you could best any other male on the
like
planet.
I don't like. There's quite a lot of people in this room now. I don't walk in the room and do like an eye test of being like, right, I can take all of you. Like, my mind just doesn't work that way. My mind just doesn't work that way. Like, it just doesn't.
It's so funny. I know a lot of like army, like military guys who do think like that.
Yeah,
that's where their head goes.
It's like small dick energy.
Yeah,
massively.
I hear you, but also Tom, like you don't need to because it's like a given. I don't
Well,
think
hold
any
on,
like
well-
Neil would be probably our best
no,
bet.
100%.
Neil's a big dude.
But that's also assuming. But that's also assuming that I guess in your mind, in your perception, the baddest man on the planet is a measuring contest of the most capable hand-to-hand specialist on the planet.
I agree.
You know
I
what I'm
agree.
saying?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So like, who's to say that somebody else wouldn't say the best sniper on the planet that has 47 confirmed
Completely
kills
agree.
in horrifying conditions under extreme duress, no sleep, is not the baddest man on the planet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess that's it comes down. It's
on the
subjective, I
test.
guess.
It depends on the test as well. You can't like have a fish climb a tree and expect it to do well.
Yeah,
you could try.
it's a straight. That's why I said like define baddest man, because if there's weapons involved, I ain't got no chance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got no chance. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So you don't think that it's Masvidal or Diaz though, as the BMF, of course,
Probably not, man.
right now. Damn! Shout out Jorge if you're watching this. We miss you. Guess times have changed a little bit. So, do you like cheeseburgers?
Yeah, who doesn't? Well, you got a cheeseburger?
Yeah,
No, yeah, I do like them. Yeah, why have you got one?
Yeah, we're at Wembley this weekend.
Oh, really?
Yeah, at Box Park.
He's got a sick burger.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Well, like one of those smash, but yeah, they're the best. I like them.
It's amazing.
You watching your diet? Like, could you eat one of his smash
I
burgers?
could do, yeah, but I try and be as dialed in as possible with the diet. But if we're talking a weekend, yeah, I could.
Is there any chance that you go to the Sidemen charity match?
No, but Charlie, my guy,
Yeah.
who I'm with, is going.
It would be great YouTube content. Just throwing it out there.
No, I know. I've got some stuff on this weekend though. I can't be there, unfortunately.
What is it? Training stuff?
Yeah, it's training stuff. I got some personal stuff on as well. But I know I've met JJ before as well, KSI, so I know that he's into the stuff, and
What'd you think of him?
I liked him. Yeah, he's cool.
Fat Neek.
What?
Is that like a?
Fat Neek?
Fat Neek?
Is that like a?
What's that?
That's what they call him on his Reddit.
Is that what does that mean?
I don't know what
I
that
don't
is.
really know what it means.
You don't even know what it
But
means.
it's what they call him. It's generational.
Is that like
They
your?
call him a Fat Neek.
Is that like your
Yeah, I
crep?
don't know
Your
what that is.
crepes are safe, fam.
Like how gamers would insult.
Yeah, I guess I don't really.
Is that a racist?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I'm
feels
sorry.
like- it feels
That's where I was going.
It
is. Yeah.
It's like a fat nerd.
Oh, right.
Oh,
That's all
okay.
right.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's all right.
Well, you just saved Logan Paul's career.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Thank you, bro. Hell yeah. Do you have any questions?
Would you like to? Could you critique the show maybe or something? Or
I'd
give us
like
like
to.
a
I mean,
rating?
I'll be honest, I've only seen one episode, and it was with, I've seen clips, don't get me wrong, I've seen Mike Tyson clips, I've seen Masvidal clips.
The
I've
mushrooms.
Seen, I've seen the mushrooms thing. I've seen you asking about, No, you asked about Tommy Fury and Molly. That was amazing. Because I know Tommy
that
as well.
clip?
Yeah, that was amazing.
yeah.
That was funny as hell. I seen the Haaland episode is the one that I watched all the way through.
Great episode.
You
Yeah,
really
yeah.
do fuck with Manchester.
I'm a City guy.
Whoa,
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah.
Dude, is there a chance that we've met before years ago with Tommy in a gym?
Where was the gym? No, I don't
In
think so.
Manchester.
I don't think so.
No.
Well, you went there doing what? What was you doing?
Training boxing.
You sparred with Tommy?
No,
Well,
no.
you just did a bit
at
of
the
boxing
time,
there.
he was just a kid.
Yeah.
I mean, we were all just kids. But I thought maybe you train in Manchester, right?
Yeah, I train with Tommy a lot. I used to train. I don't train with him anymore, but I have trained with him in the past.
You like Tom?
I like Tommy a lot.
I was in Saudi Arabia in Riyadh recently, and I was in a gym head down. You know, it was probably jet lagged as shit, and it was like 4 PM, and I saw like when you're in the gym working out and you see two like burly dudes walk in, and all of a sudden it's kind of like, yo, I'm on this machine right now.
Yeah.
Like it turns into that thing, and so I was like pressing, and I looked up and there's Tommy Fury because Tyson was fighting that weekend.
Yeah.
And, you know, obviously we have internal, Jake's his brother.
Yeah.
You know, he's the only guy that's beaten Jake. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Right? So I didn't really know what to expect. Real nice guy.
Very nice.
Super stand-up guy. Had a great conversation with him. He was extremely interested in UFOs. He wants the data. He wants to know what's going on with UFOs.
Tell him what you told me.
Oh, he believes that he has, I hope this doesn't get me killed, but he believes that he has some evidence of
a
alien
UFO
activity, yes.
Tell him what he showed you.
He showed me a city at 40,000 plus feet in the sky, a moving city.
That he took.
That he took personally.
How did he get up there?
He was in a
an
plane.
airplane, I believe, unless he found somewhere to create a bicycle that floats.
Sounds like a flat earth. Are you a flat earther?
We were two of the biggest actually flat Earth deniers.
Yeah.
We're probably we're probably the most famous. We have a movie about it.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
We're the biggest threat to the flat Earth
Ever.
theory
Right.
on the planet.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on the flat planet.
If you ever get a chance and you want to ruin not only your night but your perception of both of us as individuals, look up
Listen,
Logan Paul's.
we're on good terms at the minute. I don't want to do it.
Look up Logan Paul's Flat Earth documentary. It's a work of
Okay.
We made a satire. We
Infiltrated.
infiltrated the flat Earth community.
in a major way.
Okay.
He was up on stage.
There's a gathering of them.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, dude, there's this many fucking stupid people in one place. I got to be one of them.
Those people have got a lot of time on their hands, I think.
I convinced them that my friend fell off the side of the flat Earth. His name was Pete. He had flat feet and couldn't keep balance.
Yeah, I'm not
They
watching
believed
it.
it.
I'm not watching it.
Dude, please do not watch it. Don't.
But while we're on this, I do think it's important to give a PSA to Tommy Fury because Mike told me, he's like, dude, like Tommy showed me this picture.
Sorry, Tommy, if it was supposed to be.
I don't give a
confidential.
fuck, Tommy. You gotta show us.
Or him.
We want to see. I want to see it, bro. Like we could put aside whatever Fury Paul beef there is for a second. I want to see the city in the sky because the way Mike's describing it is like insane, man.
So when someone has beef with your brother, do you feel that as well, or no?
No, not every time. It's, dude, I'll be honest with you, it's kind of tricky, and it's been a rift in our relationship.
Yeah.
Because we're brothers, love him to death, like literally would die for this kid. We also have our own like separate paths, interests, friendships, whatever, businesses. Like and like an example, I love Dana White in the UFC. I always have since we were 10. You know, a couple years ago, Jake starts burning that bridge, and I'm like, whoa, shit. Like, am I included by default? Do I have to like not like Dana? But that's like kind of going against like what's important to me.
Yeah.
I have my whole career beef with KSI. We settled it. Turns out we like each other. But am I supposed to like not like him just because my brother doesn't? And they've never really met either. Like I know they'd get along just like I would. And so it's like kind of
it's not just in that direction either. Like he signed with the brand that won't be mentioned, a couple brands I think that were competitive with your brand.
We could say it. We could say it.
Well, whatever, but post Prime being created.
Yeah.
And so the thing that it comes down to is this is not like a normal like beef conversation. If his brother had beef, like real, like physical, someone's trying to hurt me, there's no question, right? But when you get into this weird gray area where there's business involved, content, Jake Paul starting shit with people for content, Logan Paul starting shit with people for content, you can't always just forego all those relationships in the future just to be on your brother's side, to be on your quote unquote brother's side, right?
Got it.
And there are some people who agree with that take, who are like, yo, that's your brother. Abandon your $1 billion business and support your brother. And I'm like, but
idiotic, dude.
I don't.
It's the dumbest thing
It
I've
doesn't
ever
feel
heard.
like true to me, and I don't. Sometimes
No, you
I'm
don't have to
torn.
explain that,
Bro. This is your podcast, Tom, and this was excellent.
That's all right.
This was excellent.
Actually,
bro.
it was awesome.
I want to say, dude, I'm so impressed by you.
Oh, thank you.
Same.
Not that
I
you need to be
appreciate it.
gassed up.
I appreciate it.
I wasn't really sure what to expect. You have way more depth than I think
thank you.
people would assume, and I think you're gonna do what you say you're gonna do.
Thank
you. Man, best of luck to you, bro. Go become the UFC heavyweight champion of the world.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate
Tom
it.
Aspinall, ladies and gentlemen.
We needed that good kickoff to this.
Yeah, we
episode
did.
series.
Hit that subscribe button. We'll see you next time. Peace.